Well, hi there. I just wanted to make a video for Serenity and Dominic and Laura. This is Papa Ryker. I'm outside and it's a beautiful day out here. Look at this. See, it's a pretty day. Here's where our house is right here. Let me see if I can get our house behind you. See, there's our house right there. And and I was just missing you guys. I was thinking, man, the tough thing about grandkids being so far away, or me being so far away, whichever that is that just don't have enough help around when I'm working on stuff. And I'm always working on things, and I always have to do it by myself. Sure would be great if I had my grandkids around to help me fix things, because that's what I do a lot of. I fix a lot of things all the time, and so trying to fix even a few things today. Fortunately, this one, there's Papa's truck right there. Fortunately, that one's doing pretty good. I haven't had to do too much to the big truck there. Done a few little things, but um, did just get Nana's car here running. It was having problems with the engine right here. There's her car. We got that one fixed. I got a few other little things I got to work on it too, and one of the things I was working on today is here's a car that I built. I actually built this one. There's my little geo tracker right there, and I call it my John Deere tracker now. Let's see if I can get the picture right. See, it's got a John Deere on it, because everybody tells me it's about the same size as a John Deere ATV. See, it even has right here. See, it even says John Deere on the side there, and see, seat covers John Deere. But this little car, and there we go. There's something, always working on that one. And I built this thing out, and I just got it real cheap for like 300 bucks, and been trying to make it run and rebuilt the engine and everything in it. Just about everything in it's brand new, and runs pretty good now. See, I even made it into like a little pickup. It's got a little bed right here. This thing lifts up, and the windshield goes down this way. And but one thing I need help with right here is, let's see, right here. Let's see if I can get this right. I'm just messing around here. There we go. Yeah, right here. It's hard to do this, isn't it? Oh, there we go. See, in here, there's a bearing in there, and it's going bad. And the way I can tell is because when I shake this wheel, it's loose right here. And so I got to fix that. But unfortunately, the bearing that I got for it hasn't come in the mail yet. It's supposed to be in yesterday, but it didn't come in. So I already took the wheel off in the shop, and found out what I needed and everything, but I had to put it all back together so I could drive it again, because the big truck over there is very expensive to drive. So I try to drive this one to work every day. But anyway, this one's pretty much done. I mean, I've got some things that need to be done to it, but there's a few things that, have to be worked on from time to time. And sure, it'd be nice if had somebody to hand me wrenches and do things like that. And then this next spring, I'm going to start working on this one again. Here's something else that I built right here. See there? That's my what used to be a Land Cruiser. Here we go, like this. See if I can get it that way. See right there? That's my truck for going off in the woods with. It's a big one, and but I built that and everything in it, the engine and all the stuff underneath here, all the wheels, axles. Built the whole steering system right there, and so anyway, there's a lot that I've done on that one, and let's see. I'll show you another project. This is another project that's waiting. I gotta go between the. Here we go. I got this little thing between my shop here. So I walk through here. Here's some tires. Got some big old tires. Those aren't any good anymore. Those ones I took off the truck. And let's see. Here's our backyard. Right here. here's something fun that you might really like. I started on this one, but I haven't gotten very far yet. But here, right here is my hovercraft. There we go, right there. See, I got it out in this old building, just stored right there. I took it all apart and everything, but I'm rebuilding the engines for it. It's going to have an engine up here in the front, right here, that'll lift it up off the ground, and then it's going to have another engine back there that makes it go forward. Now, when your mom was like about 10 years old, I had one of these, and I built it and used it all the time. It was a lot of fun. I used to fly it on the rivers and up in the snow and places like that. And but I ended up having to sell it, and so I always wanted to get another one, and so I finally got this one, but it needed to be I needed to make it, didn't run, so I had to work on that. So anyway, I've got all the stuff for it. I just need to work on it. So, but that little tracker that I have, I just took up all my time and money and everything, because it was a lot of work building that thing, but I needed it to get to work and that kind of thing. So anyway, so look what a beautiful day it is. This is the back of our house right here, and it's January 1st, so Happy New Year. And I have the day off, and so I'm pretty happy about that. Nana, she just jumped in the car, and she's going to go pick up Aunt Savannah, who's at some friend's house, and bring her back here. And Aunt Denali just went down to Florida for a missions conference down there, so she's gone. So it's so anyway, I'm just here by myself now. But here's the thing. This is what I wanted to do. See, in order to help out, or to help your dad out when he's working and fixing things, you kind of need to know some tools. And so what I thought I would do, and I might start doing a little bit more, because this is something papas can do pretty good, is teach your grandkids about tools and things and little things that'll help them do things in the future. And since that's something that I do a lot of and know a lot about, it's something I can do, and that way you can help your dad out too when he's. But one thing you need to know is like if he asks for a open-end wrench, you got to know what open-end wrench is, or an impact wrench, you got to know what it is. So I thought I'd just show you wrenches today, and so you could tell what they're for and what they do. So like for example, here's a bolt right here. I just picked up a bolt that I just got sitting in the shop, and what wrenches are designed to do is one thing is to take the nut off. The nut is this part on the bolt that unthreads right here. See that? See how it unthreads on here? And you've probably seen lots of bolts, and your dad has them all the time, I know too, because he's always working on stuff as well. So anyway, so how do you get that off? So that's what I'm gonna see if I can set this phone here somewhere. There we go, right here ought to do it. There. So you need a wrench to get this off. There's different types of wrenches, and here's one type of wrench. This is the most basic type of wrench, and it has an open end right here, and then at this end, even though it's round, it's called a box wrench. And it does a couple different ways. One thing is if you put this end on here, see, it'll turn the bolt like this, or the nut if that's what you're trying to get off. Okay, and then this one, and that's the best way you can do it. But sometimes a bolt is in a place where you can't get the round end in there, and so what you do is you use the open end to slide over the bolt like that, and then turn it that way. Okay, now these come in all kinds of different sizes. And this one right here says this is a 24 millimeter, so you have to have exactly the right size wrench to fit the bolt that you're working on. Okay, so that's one type of wrench. So if Dad asks for a open end wrench or a box wrench, this is the kind of wrenches he's talking about. If he says 24 millimeter, or there are, well, I won't talk about standard size. I'm not talking about sizes too much right now, just the type of wrenches. So we'll figure that one out later. That's something else to talk about because there's so many details. Okay, so there's one wrench. Okay. Now, here's another type of wrench. These are cool wrenches. As a matter of fact, I just got Uncle Austin a set of these type of wrenches, and I really like this. It looks very similar to the one that we had before because it has a open end and it has a box end. But this one is cool because it has this little piece in here that ratchets. Okay, see, it goes one way, and so what it does is it allows you to do this. You put it on the wrench, and then you turn this way, and then it ratchets back. And so you don't have to take the wrench off. You just keep ratcheting it back and forth. These are cool because you don't have to pull it off and then position the bolt again, the wrench again, and then pull it back. You just put it on there, and all you have to do is go back and forth with it. Okay, so that's a ratcheting box wrench or open end. Okay. Now there's these type of ratchets. I've got 3 different ratchets right here. Okay, and the only difference between these 3 ratchets is the size of where see that little piece right there? That's where your socket goes. Okay, and I'll show you here. I'll show you a socket. Although this is the wrong size for the little one. See, this one, what it does is it goes over the bolt right here. You see there how that's got the little square edges there, and you put it on there, and so then when you put it on the ratchet, I'll put it on this one, the one that fits. Okay, there we go, and you put it over it like that, and then when you turn listen to it. You hear that? Okay, what it's doing is this way it rolls back like that, and then when I push on it, it turns the bolt. Let me see if I can show you here. Let's see. So it's turning the bolt this way, and it comes here, and so all you have to do to remove the bolt is just keep swinging this back and forth, and then when you want to put the bolt back on, or the nut, then you turn this little thing right here, and it reverses it so you can make it go the other direction. So those are ratchets. Okay, now here's the thing, is the ratchets come in basically 3 different sizes. This is a 1/2 inch drive, and what that does is just measuring this head right here. See, what it does is this fits in here like that. Okay. There we go, just like that. See, so that's a 1/2 inch right there. Okay, now the next one down is a 3/8. See this one, see right here, see how this one is bigger than this one. Okay, and then there's a 1/4 inch one. That means it's only a 1/4 inch wide. Look how little that one is compared to the 1/2 inch. See the little right here, this part right here, and then the part right there. Okay, that's a smaller one. So they just come in 3 different sizes. Okay, because sometimes you got a small little nut or bolt, so you need one like that. And so it just, the size of the bolt or whatever you're working on, this tells you which one. So if your dad asks for a 1/2 inch ratchet, this is what you want to give him. If you ask for a 1/4 inch ratchet, this is the little one, is the one you want to give him. And a 3/8 is this one right here. Okay, so there you go. Now, there's 2 different types of sockets too. See, this is a regular socket. See, the one I was just showing you. And then they have a deep well socket. So if Dad asks for a deep well socket, you want to give him one like this. It means it's really long. And now the reason for this, the reason it's long, is because, see this right here, if the nut is threaded all the way down like on this bolt, see this wrench, it won't reach it because it's too short, because it hits the top of this before it gets to the nut. See, so it won't go all the way down. So you get a deep well, and it slides all the way down onto the bolt. You see that? Look how deep that goes. So sometimes you need a deep well socket. So if Dad asks for a deep well socket, what you want to do is get him the long one and not the short one. Okay? But most of the time you're just going to use this one. This one just once in a while. Okay. Now, one other thing is that here's another tool. This is called a breaker bar right here. Okay? And it does not ratchet, okay, but it does have this little head that pivots back and forth, and the socket that I was just telling you fits on there too. Now the problem is sometimes bolts are on really, really hard, okay, and it's really hard to get them off. And so in school you might be learning about the laws of physics and that kind of thing. Well, one of them is that if I try to, like for example, if I try to turn a bolt just by holding on to this socket right here, it's going to be really hard. I can't do it. That's why you got to put a wrench on it, because then what it does is it puts your turn. You see, I'll put it on there. There we go. See, then, and then when I put my hand out here, I can apply more power to that socket. The further away my hand is from the point where it's pivoting, the more power that I have. And the closer it is, the less power I have. It's kind of like a gear, the way gears work, okay? And that's something I might talk to you about sometime too. But anyway, so this is what they call a breaker bar. And then it's just longer than a ratchet is. Okay, so it can get me further away, so I got more what they call torque or power that I can apply to that bolt to break it free. Now sometimes, I'll show you something else. Sometimes I still can't get it off, okay? And so what I do is I'll take this piece of pipe right here. See this piece of pipe? I got this piece of pipe, and what I do is I'll slide it over top of this breaker bar right here, and I'll slide it onto the handle a little ways. Maybe it'll be easier if I get out here further, like that. And that allows me to get my hand even further away from the bolt to try to break it free. Okay, so sometimes that's what you need. Okay, let me put this away. Now, okay, now here's the thing, that there's another really cool tool that I have. Okay, so anyway, if your dad asks for a breaker bar, this is what he's asking for. Okay, now there's another cool tool that I've got that is a combination of those two things. I love this. Nana just got this for me for Christmas. Okay, and it's a ratchet. Okay, just like the ones I showed you, but on this side it has a 1/2 inch head on it. See right there? And on this side it has a 3/8, and so it'll actually work either way on either size socket. Okay, but the best thing about this tool is what it does is it's a telescopic one. You pull on this little hand, you pull this little thing right here, and it lengthens the ratchet, and it makes it into like that breaker bar that I was just showing you. So now this breaker bar, however, it does ratchet. Okay, because so the thing about breaker bars is that all they're really for is to get you in there and break the bolt free. And once it actually will start turning, then you can put a ratchet on it and go like, you know, and then start rotating the knot off the head. But this breaker bar or ratchet does both. I love that. That is a cool tool. So what I was gonna do is I've been trying to get one. I found one of these at the store over here, and I bought it, and I've been looking. I want to try to get one of these for your dad, and I'm trying to get one for Uncle Austin too. And as soon as I find where I can find them again, I'm gonna get one for him. I wanted to get one for him here, but anyway, somebody else bought them all up, so I couldn't get any more, and I was really bummed about that. But anyway, I love this. This is really cool. So your dad probably won't have one of these, but he will eventually, because I'm going to give him one. So, all right, because it's such a cool tool to have. All right, now there's one even better tool. All right, it just gets better and better, guys. Now here's something Nana just got me that I really, really like. Now I used to have one of these, and I wore it out, okay, because I used it so much. Now this is a really neat tool because it's also a ratchet, okay? And see, it's got the head right here, and it's a 3/8, which this socket won't fit. But this socket will, right here. So I'll put that socket on there. Okay, see, there it is. Now this one is what's so cool about this. This is a power ratchet. Okay, it even and it's a battery operated one. See, here's the battery, and you put the battery back in, and then you put this thing on the nut right here. I don't know if it won't fit this one here. It's not the right size for this one. And then it has a trigger right here. And so when you put it on there, I don't even have to turn this thing back and forth like I was just showing you. I just push the button, and here's what happens. See, it turns for you. So that's a power ratchet. Now that's pretty cool because there's some places when you're working on things where you don't have room to move this thing back, the ratchet back and forth to make the ratchet work. But this one, that's not a problem because you just stick it in there and then turn it, and yet I don't have to move it at all. It does the work for me. And the other thing is sometimes these bolts have a lot of threads in it, and you're like this back and forth for 10 minutes trying to get that little nut off because it has to go all the way up all these threads here. So the power ratchet is nice because Papa can just set it on the nut and go just like that. So that is very, very awesome tool to have. So that's a power ratchet right there. So if Dad doesn't have one of these, he's got to get one. They're awesome. All right, one more tool. Okay, one more wrench I'm going to show you, and this is the biggest one of all that I have. So, and this was this one. This is also a wrench, believe it or not, but this one's called an impact wrench. See, it's got the head right there, just like the other wrenches do. And you put the socket on here, just like you do the other ones, just like that. Now, this one here is also battery operated. See, the battery comes off like this. And put it back on like that. There you go. And now and then this goes on there, and when you trigger it, see, look how see how much every time I do it, it moves like this. Now this one has a lot of power right here. This one actually has 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. So that and what's different about this one is the reason it's called an impact wrench is because what it does is sometimes you got big bolts that are really, really hard to get off, and sometimes they're rusted on, like the bolts that hold your wheels onto your car. And what this one does is it actually vibrates as it actually taps on the bolt as it's trying to turn it. And so that it can break free anything that's holding it up, like rust or corrosion or things like that. And like when I change the tires on vehicles and stuff, this one really comes in super handy. And so instead of getting out there with a big wrench and turning around and around and around and around and around, trying to get all the bolts off, like on Papa's truck there, it's got 8 lug bolts on each tire. And so that takes a long time, but not with this tool. I just put it on there and they come right off. So this is beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Trust me. Anybody that's changed tires like I have out in the mud and the sand or out in the snow, and with your freezing hands, would fall in love with this thing immediately because, man, it makes your job so much easier. And that's what tools are for. Is that tools make your job easier. You imagine trying to take a nut off with a pair of pliers. Well, I've tried it. It's hard. But with the right kind of tools, you can take a job that takes hours and it can just take a few minutes. So anyway, so those are wrenches. So let me go over it one more time. This is an impact wrench. Okay. And this is a power wrench, power ratchet. This is an extending ratchet with a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch drive on it. This is a breaker bar, which actually has a 1/2 inch on it. You can get these with 3/8 and 1/4 inch too, so if you're wondering. And here's the normal ratchets. There's a 1/2 inch drive. Here's a 3/8 drive. And here's a little baby 1/4 inch drive. And here's a open end wrench with a ratcheting box wrench on it. And here's a regular open end wrench with a regular box end on it. Okay. And so those are the different types of wrenches. There are other, different things like I could talk about extensions and adapters and other things that are associated with all those, but that'll help you a little bit. And if you were here and you're helping me work on one of these projects here and I needed a tool, you'd know right where to do. And so like this is how Papa's got it set up right here, or the way I'm setting it up in my new shop. See, I've got this board on the wall here. Figure out how this works. There we go. Right here. See all these tools. This is like pegboard right here. And I'm putting all the tools on the wall. So all you'd have to do is just come over here, and you can see this too. See right here? Figuring out how to do each one of these labels right here. It says what size the socket is. So if Papa asked for a 24 millimeter socket, all you'd have to do is go up there and say, oh, there's a 24. Read the 24 and pull this off and hand it to me. And oh, there's the little end, the little plastic end in there. These things right here, these things right here, they're little red caps, they fall off. But anyway, but meanwhile, since you're not here and when your daddy's working on things, maybe that'll help you to help him a little bit. And it's really, dads really like help, you know, because when they're working under cars and working on things like that, it's really hard to get up and down to get your wrenches and to find the things that you need. And it makes the job really, really hard. I mean, sometimes too, it's really hard because like, sometimes my hand won't reach into certain places. And I know, that like Aunt Denali, she's helped me quite a few times. I got into places working on like on that little tracker where I could not get my hand in there. And so I needed a little hand. And so I'd go in and get her and I'd have her reach down and get something for me inside there. And so sometimes that comes in real handy too. But so anyway, so you can be a big help to Dad that way and to Papa when you get the chance. But see, and so here's my shop too. And this is the first shop that Papa's ever had. And it makes him really, really happy to have his own shop where his tools and everything in it. And so, see, I even got some of my horns and antlers and stuff up there that I've started hanging. And back here, I'm going to build a little gun shop area. And then right here, I'm building like power tools right there. And then back here, I'm putting in a workbench. I got a workbench back there, and that's where all the tools for working on cars and things like that's going. And then I have an attic up here too, where I store things that I don't use too much of. I even got a place to hang all my straps. See, all my straps are hanging there. There on the wall, there's the fan that goes on the hovercraft. Actually, there's two fans. See? Let's see, here we go. Yeah, there's one, and there's the other one. It's so funny to try to work this. There we go, right there. There's two of them. And so anyway, let's see. What else is cool in here? Yeah. Oh, here you go. Here's some nice antlers right here. There's my biggest buck right there. I'm trying to figure out how to make the camera work right. There's a moose and another mule deer right there. And let's see what else we got back here. This is kind of neat too. See, I've got right here is a helmet. This is a Roman centurion helmet like the Roman soldiers used to wear. And here's a helmet that Papa used to wear right here as a soldier. See, here's mine. Hey, I'll put it on. Actually, I think Serenity, she won't remember it though, but I got a picture of Serenity wearing this helmet when she was visiting. There we go. How do I look now? See? That's so when they're shooting at you, you don't get holes in your head. So it's made out of something they call Kevlar. But that's what the soldiers wear now. And here's another helmet. It's the same type of helmet, but this is one that they wear when they drive the tanks. Those tanks are those big machines that have guns on them. And so anyway, and when you want to learn about the breastplate of righteousness, then you need a breastplate. How's that? See my abs? I got really good abs. Oh, you might like my lions. Here's my lions. Let's see, here's one of them right there. And there's another one right there. What else is interesting here? Oh, if you want to learn about the shield of what? Shield of faith, right? That you quench the fiery darts with. There's a shield right there. So all these things are just in here, stored in here right now, but I'm going to have everything looking really nice in here when I get this all done. But it's just kind of in process still. because we didn't, just moved here and trying to get everything straightened out. But I've been having so many problems with cars that I've spent more time working on cars than I have on our house. So that's why it sure would be good to have some grandkids around to help me with fixing stuff. And it would be a lot of fun too. It really would. Trust me. Yeah. So anyway, I love you guys and I really miss you. And I hope I showed you something interesting and that's something that might help you help your dad. Okay? Love you guys. Big hugs. Bye-bye.